Guys, like you 0 for 9 or 10 on third down, you're not going to have enough snaps. Like we've been over that discussion a lot.
In Week 10's Sunday night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers, led by Mike Tomlin, took a tough 25-10 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. But what happened after the game shocked everyone even more. Coach Tomlin said something about rookie Ladd McConkey that no one expected. What started as a bad night on the field quickly turned into something much bigger behind the scenes. The Steelers entered this matchup looking to maintain their lead in the AFC North. Instead, they were outplayed on Sunday night. Missed tackles piled up, the offense struggled to convert, and the Chargers controlled both tempo and territory. Amid that backdrop of frustration and technical failure, Mike Tomlin's post-game comments took on heightened significance. In front of media, he singled out McConkey indirectly with these words. McConkey caught 4 passes. Certainly that last one was the biggest, but that wasn't the reason we lost this football game, he said. The remark ignited debate among fans who viewed it as a rare public critique of a young player. This shift from broad team accountability to direct individual mention gives the moment its weight. The question becomes, was Tomlin using McConkey's catch as a metaphorical fault line, or was he explicitly eyeing the rookie's role in this collapse? The defensive issues were clear and quantifiable. According to multiple post-game reports, the Steelers converted only 2 of 11 third-down opportunities against the Chargers. Pittsburgh's offense mustered just 221 total yards and scored a lone touchdown with less than 3 minutes remaining, effectively garbage time. The defense, meanwhile, allowed multiple long completions and failed to halt momentum when it counted most. Steelers Depot's missed tackles report highlighted the sustained problem. This marked Pittsburgh's 4th consecutive game with double-digit missed tackles. The report noted those missed tackles were not merely statistical. They directly enabled Chargers to force 12 missed tackles themselves and rack up yards after contact. That kind of breakdown in fundamental play undermines any attempt to rally. Tomlin addressed the issue bluntly. You're not going to win football games by not converting third down and losing the turnover battle, he said. We were certainly loose with the ball on several instances and didn't convert enough third downs. And so that's the end result. The coach's tone turned pointed. It's rare for Tomlin to attach such a direct statistical arc to a post-game evaluation. McConkey's target late in the 4th quarter became the focal point. On a 3rd and 6 with 11 minutes remaining, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert delivered a precise strike to McConkey that kept the drive alive and extinguished any remaining hope for Pittsburgh. The Yardbarker account noted, that single perfectly timed throw to McConkey essentially sealed the contest. In the post-game press conference, Tomlin downplayed the significance of the play itself while acknowledging McConkey's role. That wasn't the reason we lost this football game, he emphasized. The apparent duality, acknowledging McConkey's impact but denying the loss hinged on it, struck fans as both unusual and provocative. Tomlin's decision to publicly reference McConkey, a rookie, transitions the narrative from collective failure to an individual underpinning. That kind of explicit mention in a high-stakes primetime game carries layers of meaning in a franchise culture that typically shields younger players. McConkey finished with 4 receptions, including the decisive one, yet Pittsburgh's multi-layered breakdown still rests at root on scheme, execution, and fundamentals. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers joined the Steelers on a 1-year deal worth $13.65 million in June 2025. On the Pat McAfee show, he said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal." The 41-year-old commented that the season would be his final one. Rodgers' performance against the Chargers did not match benchmark standards. He completed 16 of 31 passes for 161 yards, threw 2 interceptions, and posted a passer rating that ranks among the worst of his Steelers tenure. The context of retirement whispers only compounds the scrutiny. Beyond the numbers, the narrative around Rodgers' final season magnifies the weight of any collapse. With his career winding toward its end and the Steelers placing faith in him as a transitional leader, a night like this becomes more than a loss. It becomes a potential career-defining blemish. Pittsburgh walked away from Los Angeles with a 5-4 record, a position that no longer feels secure in the AFC North race. The Baltimore Ravens, sitting at 6-2, have cut deeply into what was once the Steelers' comfortable lead. Cincinnati may still trail, but the Bengals' offense is improving, and Cleveland remains a spoiler in divisional play. The 25-10 loss to the Chargers did more than change the standings. It exposed how thin Pittsburgh's margin for error has become. The Steelers have now dropped 3 of their last 4 games after opening the season 4-1, marking their most uneven stretch since 2021. Mike Tomlin has repeated the word collective in each of his last 2 post-game press conferences, emphasizing that the failures are shared across offense, defense, and special teams. The Steelers converted only 18% of their third down attempts in Week 10, ranking near the bottom of the league over the last month. Their red zone touchdown percentage has also fallen below 45%, well short of the NFL average. Tomlin's insistence on a collective standard reflects a broader sense of pressure building around the organization, pressure that extends from the locker room to the front office. In the offseason, the Steelers made a high-risk, short-term investment in quarterback Aaron Rodgers, signing the 4-time MVP to a 1-year deal worth roughly $13.6 million. The move was designed to make Pittsburgh competitive immediately rather than rebuild behind a young passer. To clear space and shift cap priorities, the team traded away a developing receiver earlier in the year, signaling full commitment to the Rodgers-led offense. That gamble has yet to pay off. Rodgers' 2025 numbers now include a passer rating below 80, a 9-touchdown to 8 interception ratio, and the fewest passing yards through 9 games of any season in his career as a starter. Tomlin's public remarks on rookie receiver Ladd McConkey should be viewed through that lens. They arrived at a time when the organization's short-term push is showing cracks. The head coach's tone suggested more than frustration. It underscored how individual accountability is now being tied directly to Pittsburgh's attempt to stay relevant in a tightening playoff race. McConkey's late-game catch for the Chargers sealed the Steelers' defeat, and Tomlin's reference to it, even to deny it was the sole reason they lost, marked a departure from his usual practice of keeping player criticism private. Since taking over in 2007, Tomlin has never finished a season below .500, an active streak of 17 years that stands as the longest among current NFL coaches. That record of consistency makes moments like this one stand out. A rare public critique of a rookie, following a primetime defeat and with the franchise facing offensive stagnation, becomes more than just a quote, it signals tension beneath the surface. Rodgers' looming retirement further magnifies that tension. At 41, he has already stated this is his final season, and each game now carries the weight of finality. His struggles against Los Angeles, 2 interceptions, 1 safety, and a season-low 50.6 rating have reignited debate about whether the Steelers' bet on veteran leadership came too late.
Yeah, we weren't getting guys open and just put it all together, Times the guys were open, I missed some throws I usually make.
Aaron Rodgers looked nothing like a 4-time MVP. His passes sailed, his pocket collapsed, and his confidence vanished. What happened in Los Angeles wasn't just a bad game. It might have been the end of an era.
A lot of stuff wasn't working. We were bad on third down. I was just a little bit off. I missed DK early, could have been a big play, a little high to Jono. But yeah, we didn't run the ball super effectively in the first half. I missed, obviously, some throws for sure.
The Pittsburgh Steelers lost 25-10 to the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday Night Football in Week 10 of the 2025 NFL season. Aaron Rodgers finished 16 of 31, passing for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a safety. He was sacked 3 times. His passer rating marked the lowest of his first season with Pittsburgh. The yardage total represented his second lowest output of the year, after throwing for 139 yards against New England on September 21st. The Steelers' offense totaled just 221 yards, with 65 coming on the final drive when the game was already decided. Pittsburgh scored only 3 points before the fourth quarter, managing a 59-yard field goal from Chris Boswell in the first quarter. The offense failed to score a touchdown until Roman Wilson caught a 27-yard pass from Rodgers with 2 minutes, 57 seconds remaining. The Chargers' defense dominated throughout, keeping Rodgers uncomfortable in the pocket and forcing multiple errant throws. Rodgers took a safety on the Steelers' third drive of the game when he fumbled, fell on the ball in the end zone, and was tackled by Khalil Mack. The play gave Los Angeles a 2-0 lead and set the tone for Pittsburgh's offensive struggles. Film review showed tight end Pat Freiermuth open on a shallow dig route, but Rodgers did not see him before being pressured into the end zone. The first touchdown of the game came after Rodgers threw an interception to Chargers rookie safety R.J. Mickens in the second quarter. The turnover marked his 6th interception of the season. Los Angeles quarterback Justin Herbert then connected with Ladd McConkey for a 15-yard touchdown pass, extending the Chargers' lead to 12-3 late in the second quarter. Rodgers threw a second interception in the third quarter when a pass intended for Calvin Austin went off the receiver's hands and into the waiting arms of former Steelers cornerback Dante Jackson. The Steelers converted just 2 of 11 third down attempts against the Chargers. Pittsburgh entered the week ranking 26th in third down offense and dropped to 31st over the last 3 games. The inability to sustain drives prevented the offense from establishing any rhythm throughout the contest. Rodgers airmailed several passes and overshot open receivers on multiple occasions, including DK Metcalf, who got behind the defense but could not connect with an overthrown ball. Rodgers finished the game with an EPA, expected points added per play, of negative 0.50, according to RBSDM stats. The negative efficiency rating reflected how his performance actively hurt the team's scoring chances. He missed tight end Jonnu Smith on the second drive, overshooting him on a throw that would have moved the chains and set up the Steelers deep in the red zone. The incompletion forced Pittsburgh to settle for a field goal attempt. The quarterback exhibited happy feet in the pocket throughout the night, drifting backward into pressure on multiple sacks. Of the 3 sacks Rodgers took, film analysis suggested he either stepped up or drifted back into the rush in all of them. His pocket presence, typically a strength throughout his career, deteriorated as the Chargers' defense applied consistent pressure. Rodgers appeared uncomfortable and nervous according to multiple observers, a departure from his normally composed demeanor. McCoy had previously called for Rodgers to retire in February 2025 after the New York Jets released him. "Aaron Rodgers, it's time to tie the cleats up and throw them up high," McCoy said on FS1's The Facility. The running back argued that Rodgers was too great to endure further decline and should walk away rather than damage his legacy with poor performances. Rodgers announced in June 2025 on the Pat McAfee Show that he was pretty sure the 2025 season would be his final year in the NFL. "That's why we just did a 1-year deal," Rodgers stated. "This was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I mean, I've played freaking 20 years, you know? It's been a long run, and I've enjoyed it." The quarterback signed a 1-year contract with Pittsburgh worth $13.6 million after spending 2 seasons with the Jets. The loss dropped Pittsburgh's record to 5-4 and marked the team's 3rd defeat in 4 games. The Steelers had opened the season 4-1 before losing to Cincinnati and Green Bay in consecutive weeks. The victory over Indianapolis in Week 9 appeared to right the ship, but the offensive collapse against Los Angeles raised questions about the team's viability as a playoff contender. Pittsburgh still leads the AFC North, but holds only a narrow margin over Baltimore. Rodgers spent 18 seasons with the Green Bay Packers from 2005 to 2022, winning 4 MVP awards and 1 Super Bowl championship. He was traded to the Jets in 2023, tearing his Achilles tendon in the season opener. Rodgers returned in 2024 to throw for 3,897 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions as New York finished 5-12. The Jets released him in February 2025, ending his tumultuous tenure with the franchise after 2 seasons. The quarterback holds a career passer rating of 103.6, the highest in NFL history among players with at least 1,500 attempts. He has thrown 503 touchdown passes against 110 interceptions across 21 seasons. Rodgers completed 68.3% of his passes entering Week 10, with 1,489 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions through 9 games with Pittsburgh. The performance against Los Angeles represented a stark departure from his season averages. Justin Herbert completed 20 of 33 passes for 220 yards and 1 touchdown for the Chargers. Los Angeles sacked Herbert 5 times, with outside linebacker Alex Highsmith recording 2 sacks. Inside linebacker Patrick Queen led Pittsburgh with 10 tackles. However, the Steelers' defense failed to force any turnovers after creating 6 the previous week against Indianapolis. The defensive effort could not overcome the offensive collapse. Running back Kimani Vidal rushed 25 times for 95 yards and scored a 2-yard touchdown for Los Angeles. Cameron Dicker kicked field goals of 32, 59, and 42 yards for the Chargers. The 59-yard field goal tied his team record for longest in franchise history. Dicker's 55-yard attempt in the third quarter hit the left upright, leaving him 50 out of 53 on field goals at SoFi Stadium. Cornerback Darius Slay was evaluated for a concussion in the second quarter and did not return for Pittsburgh.